Liz, Julie, did you guys make it with me?
We're here.
Yay, perfect. Awesome. Well, good afternoon, folks. This is Patty Slusher with America's Newspapers. I'm the program director, and we have another awesome Second Street webinar today. We are going to talk, not we, Liz Kreider and Julie Foley are going to talk about working smarter, not harder, and how you can retain and grow your current advertisers, which is probably even more challenging these days, right, ladies?
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. So housekeeping items. I know many of you have already heard these probably a million times, but I'm going to say them again. The PowerPoint presentation that Julie and Liz are going to be sharing will be made available to you. In addition to the PowerPoint presentation, you're going to get the Inland webinar takeaways. I'm sorry, the webinar takeaways. There was a slip. And those are produced by Mark Fitzgerald here at America's Newspapers. And it'll be a very nice kind of a one sheet with all the important points that Liz and Julie made. And it's a really nice recap to use in conjunction with the PowerPoint in case you'd like to share this with your coworkers. You will also get a link to the recording of the webinar. So 3 things: you're going to get a copy of the PowerPoint, you're going to get the webinar takeaways, and you are going to get a recording. In addition, as we move along or wrap up at the end, if Liz and Julie have any additional resources, which they often do, we will supply you with links to all of those great things that you can get from them on this topic and lots of other things. So who's leading off, Julie or Liz?
It's going to be me, Patty. It's Julie.
It's Julie. All right. So Julie Foley, take it away.
Thank you so much, Patty. So what we're going to dive into today is how we have conversations with current advertisers so that you can not only retain their business, but also grow it. Yes, even now, yes, you can. And so what we're going to be talking about is kind of like these guys out there that are buying an 1/8 of a page ad, and you go back to them and they say, no, we don't want to do that. But what you're just asking them is to do the same thing over and over. Do you want to buy more of the same print and maybe digital that you've been buying since before COVID? No, right? You're going to get no's, and of course you are, because right now we need to change the story and offer them something different. And that difference is going to be something that drives results and that drives leads and measurable outcomes for them. And that's promotions, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And how is it do that, Julie? Liz, tell me how. Well, we're going to tell you how. And so if your reps keep telling you that the advertisers don't have any money or don't want to spend, but they're pitching the same thing over and over, and that's basically what sales reps do, right? No offense to any sales reps on the phone, but come on, right? If they're saying to you they don't want to do it, but you're just pitching the same exact thing, that's the definition of insanity, right? We're hitting our head against a brick wall. So let's talk about how we can do something different, okay? And so like Patty said, my name is Julie and I'm joined by Liz Huff, and we're really excited to share with you some case studies and some ideas. So the challenge here is, well, I just have a little story time for y'all real quick, okay? So back in the day when I was selling for newspapers, this would have been 2007, and they had all these new websites they wanted me to sell and sell some digital and make some digital budget. I was never going to make my budget by just selling a bunch of digital ads to advertisers in Statesboro, Georgia, or in Richmond Hill, or in Savannah even. What I needed to move the needle was a strategy and changing the conversation with my advertisers that was going to drive results and excite them. So again, what we're talking about now in terms of the challenge is your company has advertisers that spend money. Maybe you don't agree with how they're spending it, but you're afraid to lose that current spend, right? But what do you have to lose? Well, you have the current spend to lose, right? The retention of that account. So you have to have that combo, that conversation with them. Do you have advertisers that are spending elsewhere that you want to pitch an idea to? They're currently spending with you
and you're afraid to have a conversation with them about something different, but you know they're spending differently other places, but you're worried that if you rock the boat of these guys that are still hanging on, you might lose that too. Or maybe you're just only pitching a top of the funnel, like brand awareness solution to them right now. Maybe just your core product. Maybe it's just print, and you're not pitching them anything different. And maybe they advertise because they feel like they need to be there, but they don't necessarily love it. But maybe they want to support you. But man, what if you pitched them something that actually drove results for them? How much more money could you be getting out of them, or more loyalty and retention, or even growth, dare I say it? And then especially now, I know that y'all are afraid to ask for more. But I promise you, y'all, that there are advertisers out there that want to own a community engagement franchise, like think high school graduation, back in April and May when you were running those programs, how excited those advertisers got. Or think about hometown heroes or teachers, and how some advertisers just want to own that program, right? And they would be willing to spend more for that. Or advertisers that might not necessarily have inventory right now to do a top of the funnel. Come see us for our big Labor Day sale. Like Patty said, how the heck is it Labor Day? They don't have inventory for their Labor Day sale ads that they normally would have purchased from you, but they want to still be in front of your audience with something that's feel good, like something like hometown heroes or teachers, right? So again, are you pitching the same thing over and over? You're banging your head against the wall. It's insanity. We need to be talking to them about something else. Instead of getting that no, it's well, that's interesting. Tell me more about what that is, right? And again, if you're only pitching the same thing and it's just that brand awareness, that top of the funnel, are you trying to drive customers down the funnel into the email acquisition zone, into the I want a free consultation, call me zone, right? So the opportunity now is to pivot this conversation when they pick up the phone and they say, Liz, all I know is that I'm supposed to cancel my advertising. And Liz says, no, Julie, let's talk about this. There's more that we can do than just that, print campaign that we've been running for the last decade. Let's do something different. Let's talk about it something different. Because they are moving their dollars and they're buying more, they're just buying it from fewer people. And we want to make sure that y'all that are on the line are the people that they're buying from, because they want to spend money. They just want to do it with less people. And that's really the name of the game right now, right? And then this is some stats to show y'all that they're ready to buy. So over the next 6 months, my business will spend more or less the same on advertising. We're seeing here on those planning to maintain or increase their spending right here, more or about the same, right? From March to April, there's a jump there. About the same is going up and more as well, but it's spending more in the next 6 months, okay? Another one shows you that of those consumers who did not buy something, a major purchase, whether it's a car or a dishwasher or an HVAC system or a roof or a pool or an outdoor kitchen, when do you think you're going to make that purchase? And 14% who did it said they're ready to do so now, right? And 32% said they want to support local businesses. They want to support local, and that's very important. I want to switch my insurance from a national chain of someone I don't know that I did online to Kyle, who lives down the street from me, who's my buddy, right? Whose kids go to the same school as mine. I want to spend my money with him, right? So the marketing messages are also going to shift, guys, and we already started to see that from beginning of like opening to, we're open and we're compliant, and the messages for our advertisers are going to shift to, we have a special offer for you. And that special offer that your advertisers and your local businesses are going to be talking about is things like a giveaway, a coupon, a BOGO offer, right? We have a payment plan. And that is where promotions can slot right in. Promotions are going to explode. They already are. And it's going to go through the holidays and into the foreseeable future, says Gordon Burrell. And I tend to agree with him. So does the U.S. Small Business Administration. They say on their website, promotions will be a way to incentivize your customers. So that are reluctant to patronize your business. So run promotions, says the U.S. Small Business Administration, and Gordon and Julie and Liz. And also this very smart lady, Rebecca Caprelli, you may be familiar with her. She's the Vice President of Promotions for Gannett. And she says, make it easy, y'all. Seek out current campaigns you're already doing in your market and generate additional revenue and additional advertiser benefits by packaging in promotions. So stop trying, don't have to like reinvent the wheel and go out and find all new people. Talk to the people that you already have. The HVAC guy that spends money with you, why not bundle in a promotion for him, have him spend more money, but also drive more benefits for him? Right? And this is one example until Liz is going to take over, that I would just want to say, this is an example of exactly that. Current advertiser picks up the phone, smashes the box and says, Liz, all it says here is I'm supposed to cancel all my spending. Julie, and of course, Liz says, no, instead of doing that, why don't we do something that's actually going to drive leads for you? People are spending a lot of time outside right now, at home. You have a wonderful product. Let's give away one of your fire tables, show people what they're missing from Lacrosse Fireplace. Let's keep on keeping on with your on air and your digital, and let's also do this. It's going to drive results. And they said, okay. And through this campaign, they sold more fire tables in April than they did in all of 2019. And it was from the leads they got from running this promotion and keeping their current spend. So there is a way to pivot the conversation. We just have to have the courage to do so and to show them that we know that we can drive results for them, because so many others have done it. So Liz, why don't you talk to us about that shift in the conversation?
Yeah, I think I'm already convinced, Julie, I will never cancel my spend with you. I am on board. But I think that's one thing I think we keep forgetting, is that you guys have worked so hard to build relationships with these advertisers. So you're having these conversations and you continue to have these conversations. So this is really where all of that work is supposed to come into play. So you can have conversations and talk to them about what they're going through and talk to them about how you can help them as a business. And I think Julie's right and Rebecca's right and all these other smart people that have been quoted. It is a heck of a lot easier to build on something you already have than start from scratch. So grow what you have and layer in new things is so smart. So let's go through some benefits and some ways that you can shift the conversation, because when you're talking about promotions, this is when it comes into play. So the first thing, biggest thing, promotions drive leads. So when those advertisers call you and say, I can't run my spots, I can't run my ad because I don't, I need to go spend my money finding new customers. Well, hello, that's what you're here for. That is what a promotion is so great for, because if they need to replace lost customers, like Julie said, giving something away, adding lead gen that asks people to opt in is a great way to do that. Another phenomenal thing about promotions is that you can use them to retain your existing customers. So maybe there's lists that you already have, or maybe there's lists that those businesses have. How do we reward those current customers? How do we send them, enter to win a date night in, or how do we send them some really great rewards or a discount or some sort of code for being current customers and sticking with you through all this? So you can use promotions to incentivize and retain those customers that you already have. Another phenomenal thing that you can talk about when you're talking to these advertisers is the importance and value of email. And you guys have heard us talk about this for years and years, and it continues to be so important, I think now more than ever, because of so many businesses going to this world of e-commerce and going to this world of curbside pickup and order online and all of everything that they're doing to shift their business their businesses and their business plans. So capturing an email address is so huge for these businesses to establish these one-on-one relationships. What I love about the one you see here is this is actually a business that was used to going to home shows and sticking that fishbowl out and giving away a free roof for everybody that meandered by to look at the roofing company at the home show. So what they did was they pivoted and they did a rescue your roof photo contest. They gave away one roof. They got all those leads and all those email addresses, and they built out that database. So this was a great solution to keep dollars that they were spending to promote themselves being at the home show. Now they shifted them into digital. Another great thing about promotions is the ability to build out demographic information. You can collect so much data if you're giving away a really great prize and a targeted focused prize. So if you have a real estate agent that wants to find people that are thinking about selling their homes, ask the question, are you planning to sell in the next 12 months? Are you planning to, where do you live? Do you have an agent? All of those different questions that you want to ask people, you can ask them if you're giving them a great prize and a related prize. So think about the ways that you can gather data for those prospective advertisers, and that's the value. So if you keep that print ad and now you layer in a promotion that's going to drive leads and find homeowners that are going to replace the roof in 6 months, you've created an incredible amount of value for that advertiser. Another great thing about promotions, and this is so important because we had somebody that asked a question about how do you sell to somebody that doesn't have inventory right now, that is not going to have inventory till the end of the year. Well, here you go. Branding and community presence. We are seeing so many people tapping into those community relations, community marketing, cause marketing, all of those kind of public relation budgets right now. So doing things that sponsor a community focus like graduation or back to school or hometown heroes or healthcare heroes or teacher of the week, bless the teachers. All of those things, those advertisers that typically spend with you love this opportunity to be a part of the community. So maybe they don't have product right now to push, but they still want to keep their business front and center. They still want to make sure everybody remembers their name. This is one of those ways that you can do that. Other ways, certainly you can promote other things that they have or talk about other products or services, but this is one way, doing those things that build that branding and community presence. And then finally, here's the deal, folks, and I kid you not, promotions work. There is a reason that Gordon said that these will be exploding through the holidays. There is a reason that Gatehouse is making millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars, targeted at hundreds of millions on promotions. There is a reason that there are a lot of people having success, and that is because they work, they are trackable, and they are a phenomenal complement to what you're already doing. So you can build out that package even more. Take that print buy that they've already invested with you, layer in an additional opportunity to start driving those measurable results in that database and that demographic information. And now you've doubled the investment. You've pulled money from whoever it is down the street. You've increased your share, and you're able to deliver some measurable results and some really great return on investment. So I think that's the bottom line, guys, and we're going to keep on saying it. These things work, and they drive results, and we see it over and over and over again. So speaking of these things work, let's look at some case studies. I think the bottom line here, and we're going to go to the next slide, which is pretty much going to be a bunch of words, and y'all can read, so I'll let you read it. But I think the bottom line, and we think the bottom line is, you need to position yourself closer to the sale with your existing customers. You have to, you've established all of these things. They know who you are. They know that you have a successful media business. They know that your newspaper is successful. You've got to make sure they know that you can drive leads for them, that you can help them grow their business, and at the same time, you're going to grow your own. So this can lead to bigger budgets, and it should lead to bigger budgets when you have the right conversations. And these are some case studies of some folks that did just that. This first one I love, and if you've seen any of our webinars lately, it's one that we've been talking about because I just love what these guys did. This was a furnace giveaway. And these guys were spending a small amount in digital every 2 months. So they were not even spending in print. This was just digital. And they decided to invest. They had decided to layer in addition to the digital spend, a promotion where they would give away a furnace. Now, if you want to find homeowners that need a new furnace, you give away a furnace. They wanted to find homeowners that needed a furnace. So that's what they did. They spent significantly more to participate in this promotion, to add that promotion in. So they increased their spend 338%. In the first week that this promotion was running, the advertiser, Stats Furnace Services or Stats Services, sold 2 furnaces valued at $13,000. So in the first week, they sold 2 furnaces from the leads that they got from this promotion. That success turned into a $14,000 annual buy. So they took what they were already spending, they added in a promotion to drive results and show the power of print and digital combined. And that led to a huge, massive spend from that advertiser over the course of the year now. So that's really what we're focused on, guys. Take what they're spending and grow it. Here's another one. These guys were also a small print client. They ran a sweepstakes. They gave away mosquito services. Lord, we need this in St. Louis right now. They gave away mosquito services. They come, they spray your yard, and allegedly the mosquitoes go away. If you guys do this and it works, please tell me, because I'm.
It works. It works.
Okay. I'm calling as soon as this is over. But they took that small print client. They introduced a sweepstakes. They increased their spend. Hello, again, they increased the spend, and they were able to drive 50 hot leads for the client. Let's show one more, Julie. This one I love because, again, those folks that you guys are saying, maybe people are not, they don't have the inventory. We're hearing that from some car dealers that they don't have inventory to sell. RVs guys are saying the same thing, but they still need to stay front and center. They still need to be in front of the community. So something like Healthcare Heroes. These were advertisers that were already spending with the newspaper, and they gave them this opportunity to be a part of this community campaign. As you can see, they brought in multiple. So all they did was take those current advertisers, increase their spend, and now they're part of a new campaign. This is, I don't want to say this is a no-brainer, but it's about as close to a no-brainer as possible, because this is such a great opportunity for you guys to do something great for your community. Some of you are probably already doing a lot of these things. If you're not getting sponsorship dollars for them, you're missing the boat. So go to some of those current advertisers, layer in a bigger investment, and let them be a part of these great campaigns that you guys are running. And then finally, I love this one as well. This came from a TV Partners down in Jacksonville. And what I love about what these guys did was, as you all know, that every hospital has about 47,000 different budgets for every different department or initiative or goal or focus. So they had a great relationship with Baptist Health, which is a hospital down in Jacksonville. Baptist Health was launching a blog. So what they did was they took what they were already doing with other departments. They brought in a great print or a great on-air and online and email schedule, but they also layered in promotions. So they got monthly quizzes that increased the spend from the hospital, and they ended up spending $170,000 in incremental on an entirely new campaign to launch this blog. That included all of those different elements. It wasn't just for the quizzes, just to be clear. It was for all of these different pieces that they got to be a part of this great campaign. But this is one more example, and Julie's gonna keep saying it, and we're gonna tell you how to price it and package it in a second. But it's one more example of talking to advertisers that are already spending and growing that spend. So grab some share from somebody else, and then also taking what you're already doing and making sure you have sponsors for it and making sure you're monetizing it. So make sure you're monetizing those special sections with submissions. Make sure you're doing something with those remarkable women and the home healthcare heroes and the hometown heroes and the teachers and the athletes and all these different people. All these things that you're doing, make sure you're getting some revenue from it. So Julie, let's talk, because I am sure that a million people are like, oh, that's real great, Liz. Now, how do I ask for money and how do I package this?
I think half the people are going
to.
Yeah.
And Julie, I'm sorry. Can I throw this before you dive into the next part? Let me throw this question out, because you guys can talk about this. I think the comment from one of the participants is, totally get this, but I am finding biz owners I already know well who don't want to make time to understand this. Haven't tried to have enough convos. Hard right now to get them to agree to meet or talk with me to understand it. Help. I threw the help in, but clearly she's looking for help.
Yeah, getting people's attention right now is really hard. That's very honored that you would listen to us talk today for an hour. So thank you for everybody that's here, because I know you're busy. What is the advertiser, and can we send them a case study? Would that be something that would be helpful if it's an HVAC guy or an auto dealer? Showing them how another one just like them did that and the results that they got from it. Is it a healthcare and they want to see how they can generate, if they're a hearing aid or an ENT doctor, ear, nose, and throat, how another ENT in a market like Savannah, Georgia generated $72,000 from new clients from doing one promotion? Would that be something that would perk their ears? Sending them that?
Well, I'll give you some time to answer that, but I did, let's see, what was the
Liz, what were you about to say?
I was going to say real quick, Patty, while you're looking for that, I think the other thing to think about is if you're trying to get their attention, start with what is going to help them. So start with, hey, I know you're busy, but I have a way to drive leads. Or I know you're busy, but I have a way to help you find new homeowners. I think it's important to start with why it's good for them, not why you want to sell them something or why you want to talk to them, but talk about what you're going to do for them to begin with.
Right.
So the person who asked the question says, thanks for addressing my question. Yes, case study would be great. So,
and the subject line should be
yes,
leads, ? I've got them. Homeowners, I can help, right? Like Liz said, like the subject line or the first words out of your mouth or the text message that you send or however you're communicating with them should be what they're going to get, not, hey, I want to talk to you about some new thing I want to sell, right? And then of course it's the case study that you're going to show them. Just make sure that you're presenting it in the way that they're going to respond.
and she can reach out to either of you if maybe you might even have a case study that would help her. And while I have 2 questions popped up, can I just throw those out at you guys too?
Shoot, yeah.
On the furnace giveaway promo, what was the print ad form? Newspaper, magazine? What was it? Newspaper, yay, newspaper. And then this is another one that we can I can probably put Jacqueline in touch with you. She's looking to get the contest or promotions set up in her system and learn how to price it and that kind of thing. So maybe that's
we're on right now. So that's the
okay.
perfect time. Yeah, getting it set up in the system, just reach out to us and we can help you with that.
Okay.
But
look
in
at
terms
that,
of
right up. How do we price?
Right up for me, Patty. Thank you so much. So, so think of these as not just a one-off. It's not just we're going to run this for you for a couple weeks. This is somewhere between a 3 to 12 month campaign. So in the instance of the HVAC example, that one was a 3-month campaign that turned into a year campaign where they then decided to do 4 sweepstakes a year, but have a 12-month buy. And in the months they weren't doing a contest, they were doing print ads and they were doing digital ads. Okay. So think of this not as just a one-off that you have to keep selling over and over. Hometown Heroes, Teacher of the Month, God bless them. That's a year-long campaign. You sell that once and that runs for a full year. It's not just something that you run and it only runs for a month, right? And it's always supported by core owned and operated or core print for the folks that are on the line, newspaper and newspaper.com assets to build the brand of that promotion, of that annual campaign and the demand for it. So Teacher of the Month, Hometown Heroes, it's all supported by your print product and your digital products. And we like to see bundling several promotions together. So that would be the example from Baptist Health in Jacksonville. And that is where they had several quizzes, a quiz every single month, a new quiz every month. And so just knowing that you can bundle several, you don't have to just do one sweepstakes. You could do a sweepstakes in 1 month, and then in quarter 2, Q3, Q4, it could be a quiz, it could be a photo contest. So you can mix it up for your advertisers as well. But just understanding that it doesn't have to just be one thing. And also that email is very important to drive leads further down the sales funnel for your advertiser. So understanding that an email strategy during the promotion and an email strategy while it's going on for those hot leads or after it wraps up for those hot leads is important. It's important for the customer so that they have results. So is that something that you can fulfill for them? Do you have a digital agency? Do you have someone that can do email for these clients that maybe can't do it for themselves to email those leads? It's possible that you do. But having the conversation with the client about how you're going to have your own email strategy to get the word out about this and to, you know, help them drive leads. And then what does that look like? What does a sales package look like if we did all of those things, if we listened to all these best practices? Here's an example of one for Hometown Heroes that could be a 12-month campaign, 12 months long. And this is for an exclusive sponsorship model. But the one that we showed from the Peoria Journal Star was a 12-month campaign that had, I believe it had between 8 and 10 sponsors, and they were all on the same level, and it was a $20,000 buy for all of those sponsors. They were all current advertisers that added on to what they were currently spending to do Hometown Heroes. Okay, so here's what would be included, okay, in that package. You can see digital, print, and of course email, because we know email is very important. What are the benefits? It's right there on the sales sheet. I've just broken it out. Here's the benefits at the very top. It's multimedia campaign. It's not just print. It's not just digital. It's everything. It's email. We're going to help you generate leads. We're going to help you grow your email database. We're going to help you gather data. We're going to help drive traffic to your website, Mrs. Advertiser. You're going to get this in digital. Just an example, you can change out the numbers here if you choose. You're going to get this in print. Example, you can change out the numbers here if you so choose. And email, right? You do need to send an email every month telling people that it's the new month for nominating Hometown Heroes. Email's the only thing that I'm going to say you have to do this. Don't change that out. We're going to have a monthly prize. It's going to run for 12 months. The value for the sponsor is whatever your rate card is. So that would just vary depending on what, you know, what y'all's rate card is. And the investment, depending on if you're a small market, a mid-sized market, right, per month. If you're in a very, very small market, that number could be $1,000 a month instead of $2,500. If you're in a very, very large market, that number could be $20,000 a month. It just depends, I think, on your market size, how this would shake out. But these are really good numbers to go by. Good baseline targets, we think. So how to price and package. We have sales one sheets for you. Hey, we're to the resources section. I can talk about those now. So on the lab, you can find case studies. There's a case studies button. You can find playbooks. You can find webinars that we've previously done. You can also chat with us if you click that little blue icon. If you're looking for a specific case study, there was someone on the line that was looking for something very specific, hit us up on chat. We'll send you the link to it. We can do that every day, Monday through Friday. We also have playbooks on how you can drive measurable results. They're full of case studies as well. This is a playbook full of case studies on a lot of what we just talked about. And then those sales one sheets that I showed you, download the one for newspaper. There's lots of them in there, lots of good ideas, and they're editable so that you can put in your information and how much you're going to charge and how to contact, you know, Julie Foley at, you know, Statesboro Herald. And then also we have this turnkey library. So we haven't really talked about turnkeys, but these are all of the pre-built promotions that we have available. And these are really good to use as examples or spec for advertisers. So we're looking at things for Halloween. Maybe there's some cool quizzes in there we want to pitch, or it's that Hometown Heroes or that Teacher of the Month. Those are already turnkeys, and we can show our advertiser, here's what this would look like or how it would work. And then we've got the sales sheet that goes right with it, okay? And the seller's guide is another resource that if you don't have it, don't sleep on it, because it's a really good resource that will give you questions to ask your advertisers to start the conversation about what they need. These are actually be great questions like to pose into an email if you're trying to cut through the noise, or in a text message if you have their cell phone numbers. There's some good questions that you could ask. Maybe the subject line is like one of the questions that we have that sets up that like C&A process, right? What's the lifetime value of a new customer for you? Can I get you 5 new customers like next month, or 10 new customers next month, right? Like that would be a good email. So this is full of stuff like that, full of good questions, but also what are those lead generating questions to put on the contest registration form for every advertiser category, and also what are the good prizes? What are good examples of prizes? So download that. Okay. And then if we have any more questions, we'll be happy to answer them now too.
Okay, yes, we have several questions.
Cool.
So let me go back up to the top. Okay. If a sweepstakes is print-based, does it direct them to the paper's website or where?
It would direct them the paper's website, or what was the other?
Or where? Where does it? Where would?
Oh, where? I thought you said wham. I'm like wham.
Yeah. Wham. Where?
Yes, the newspaper's website.
Okay. Can you run two different promos at the same time or overlapping?
Absolutely.
Darn Skippy.
Darn Skippy. How about
and
three?
we would actually recommend that, because I am not in the market for a new roof or mosquito spray, because my husband actually does it himself. So Liz, hit me up, we'll talk about it. But I am in the market for a new pool liner. But Liz is not in the market for a new pool liner because she doesn't have a pool. So if all three of those contests were going on at the exact same time, you're going to have responses from 3 different kinds of people that are all homeowners, but that all need different things at the same time. So yes, you can run more than one at a time. Don't run 2 cutest kids photo contests at the same time. That would be stupid. But definitely run as many that are going to, that people are going to respond to that need that service. I am not in the market for a roof. I am in the market for a pool liner. Somebody let me win one, please, because they're expensive.
So if you run Hometown Heroes, how do you know the folks voting are really the client's target customer?
Does it matter? No, it doesn't. What matters is how they answer the lead gen questions on the form. So if you have 10,000 voters, Patty, and out of the 10,000 voters, 1,000 are homeowners that are in the market for a new roof in the next 3 months, does it matter that the other 9,000 were not?
Aha.
I don't think the answer is, yeah, I think the answer is no, it doesn't. 1,000 new customers, sign me up. How, I guess the answer to that question, I think for the advertiser, if they said to you, how do I know the people that are participating are my target audiences? We will know that based on the answers to the lead generating questions and the opt-in that we put on the registration form. So if we had 1,000 people enter the roof giveaway and only 300 were homeowners that were interested in a new roof and that said, yes, contact me for my free consultation, is 300 potential new customers worth it? I think the answer is yes.
Okay. This question is from one of your customers. My company, Paper, just got into Second Street. We love everything, and I'm excited to get started selling promotions. But shouldn't we build the email database before running promotions? And if so, what's the best way to build it?
Liz, do you want to take that one?
Sorry, I was muted. No, go ahead, Julie. You're good.
Oh, okay. So brand new customer. Hey, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And the best way to grow your email database is by running promotions. Spoiler, shocker. And yes, it's a good idea to have email addresses when you're launching and when you're selling to a client. It's always good to have a good base. What I would suggest is that in getting started, you run some promotions for yourself first that grow your databases, your daily news headline, and of course I'd love to receive emails about contests and promotions from newspaper, whatever your newspaper is. And a great way to do that is actually with some national sweepstakes that Second Street puts the prize up for. One of them launches on September 7th, and another one is launching in November, and we put up the cash prizes for those. And also they're in your account, or should be in your account if you're a new customer already. and they're branded with graphics and everything. And so all you have to do is just make sure your opt-ins are there and then promote them and put them on your site. And it's a really good way to start growing your list. So run sweepstakes to grow your list for yourself. And then once you have, I don't know, a few hundred, email addresses in that, you can start selling them.
Okay. How much is a lead worth to a business? Do you ever charge by the lead?
Love that question so much. Will you do it and tell me how it goes? So will you be my guinea pig? I've always wanted someone to sell it that way because it's like, God, you can make so much money, I think. I know. So how much is a lead worth? Great question. It depends on the industry. If you're a roofer, the average cost of a new roof in America is $7,500. Now, if you're in a 2-story house, that's 3,500 square feet, much different, right? Maybe more like 10 or 12,000. So it depends on industry. If you're a hearing aid retailer, an average hearing aid, I think it's like $5-6 grand. If you are an automotive dealer, right? What's the average cost of a vehicle? So the lifetime or the value of a new customer is just going to vary on the business. If you're an insurance agent, I don't know the answer to that question. If you're a lawyer, I don't know the answer, but I'm sure Google does. Or actually your client knows the answer to that question better than anyone. So it varies on industry, and that is a beautiful question, and it is exactly the question you should be asking your client. What is the value of a new customer to you? And the second part of that question that you might not know to ask is, what is the conversion rate of a lead? How many leads do you need to get, Patty, to then close one customer? How many newspapers, Patty, do you need to talk to before one will become a member of America's newspapers, right? And I bet you Patty knows the answer to that question because she lives and breathes and does it every day, right? Or if she doesn't know it, somebody knows it on her team. Mark or Cindy or someone knows the answer to that question. So someone is going to know. So those are the two questions. And if you have those two numbers, you can overcome any objection and any price objection, prize. I don't want to put up the prize, but I can put, any objection you can overcome if you have those two. That is the right question to ask though. And that's a very smart person that asked that question.
that gentleman is on our board. That's a great question.
He's a very smart person.
Okay. How does the turnkey site work? I thought it would give me a visual details. Excuse me, hold on. But it just seems to be an entry form.
It is a bare bones version of all the different types of contests on our platform that you can customize. So there aren't any like pre-populated photos or entries in those, but they are a way for you to show what a live contest could look like. And you can, as a customer, go in and add a turnkey to your site, put in a different graphic, put in lead gen questions for, Slusher Automotive, if you're trying to sell to Patty, to show them what it could look like. But it's not like a live contest that's running on like, a website for a media company. It's just a Liz, how would you describe it? Just like a bare bones kind of like, this is what can be customized.
It's sort of it's how we get you started. So there's images there. I would say if you want to really understand the real power of turnkeys is with quizzes, because they're the ones that require the most work because you have to do questions and answers and outcomes. So click on a quiz and check that out. But to Julie's point, it gives you an idea of what it could look like. We've gotten you started. For sweepstakes, for ballots, for photo, you obviously have to add in your entry forms and your fields. But for things like quizzes, they're completely ready to go. And you could show your advertiser the should you repair or replace your roof quiz, and they could say, yeah, that's all the information I would want to know from someone to be able to qualify a lead. So it's sort of it kind of works that way.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Is there an optimum length of promo for giveaways?
And like how long should they run?
I believe that's what she's saying. Let us know, Cindy. Is there an optimum length of promotion for giveaways? I assume that's what the question is for, like, how long do you run? Yes, length, she's saying.
Sure. So it's going to vary based on your promo type. So things like a simple sweepstakes are going to run, 10, 14, 21 days, so 2 to 3 weeks. Photo contest, if you have submissions and voting, it'll be probably 2 weeks of submitting your photos and 2 weeks of voting. Things like citywide best ofs, those are going to run longer. So you may have a month of nominations and a month of voting. So it varies based on what you're running, but we do have all of that on the lab as well. And we're happy to help you if you have specific questions about a specific promotion.
It's an HVAC furnace.
So an HVAC furnace would probably be about 3 weeks, don't you think, Julie? 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because you want to create urgency. You don't want it to sit out there too long and have people kind of ignore it. So you want to create some urgency and entry, and you want to be able to send a nice schedule of a couple emails throughout as well.
And then we're talking about the campaign and the sales sheets and it being like not a one-off, not 1 month long, at least 3. What that means is there's, 2 months of a 3-month campaign are digital and your print, and then there's the month that is the promotion itself. So just so you understand that a little bit better, I could see how that could be confusing since we said don't run just a 1 month campaign. Yes. What we want you to do is have a robust multimedia, multi-month campaign. The promotion is the cherry on top. You start with your core product, then you're putting in your digital, you're putting in email, and then you have, your promotion.
Okay, next question. And I'm just going to say, hi, Roberta. Roberta's a friend. Do either of you help newspapers run email campaigns? We don't have digital agency.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Do we actually?
Do either of you help newspapers run email campaigns? We don't have a digital agency.
We do not physically run them. We have the technology that will help you run them, but we don't have the staff to do that.
We do have, to Julie's point, we have the technology to run them. We also have the team that will give you best practices and content and consult. But then you guys would actually physically push the button and send them, build them and send them.
Okay, thank you. This was a question that I mentioned to you guys that we had another question that was sent in with registrations. And this is a little different, not specifically promotions related, but how do you best deal with pickup accounts from previous marketing consultants within your own company? How best can you help accounts transition from one sales consultant to the next? Kind of a generic selling type question, but it's probably a very good question because I'm guessing that's happening a lot in the last several months.
Is that question about turnover?
That's what I'm guessing. How best can you help accounts transition from one sales consultant to the next? So Susie left and I'm picking up Susie's accounts, and how I need to figure out how I go into those accounts, I guess. Then how do I transition and let them know that Susie's gone, but Patty's here?
I mean, I think, Patty, to your point, that's probably more of a general sales piece. My experience, this is just me being in a sales organization, is it's all about conversations, and it's about, making sure you know what they've done in the past, making sure you know what worked and what didn't, and just kind of calling and introducing yourself and saying what you just said. So and so is gone, and I'm really excited that I'll be handling your account. And I've got some really cool new stuff that I want to talk to you about, because I see that your focus is finding people that need landscaping or whatever your focus is. But I think it's again, it goes back to having conversations and introducing yourself and knowing going in as much as you can, so that you can just have a conversation about what they care about and what they need.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say, after being a sales manager myself for quite a time, sometimes it's hard going into a territory if maybe you knew that Susie was beloved, right? and they really love this rep and maybe, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I think it's important to say some of the things Liz said. You know, I would personally just love to come in and find out more about your business. I know you really liked Susie and some of the things, or if that's the case, but I have some great ideas. I have some other clients that Susie did not have. And so I think we could probably get I could share some of the things that they've done with you that you might be interested in. So I think you just have to establish yourself as being valuable, having, you know, experience and interest, and that you're eager to learn about their business.
Yep.
My 2 cents. She asked you, me. And I think, let's see, start to finish up and run a health. Oh, I would like to get started to finish, set up, and run a healthcare heroes campaign.
Awesome.
This must have been, I would like to get started to finish, set up, and run a healthcare heroes campaign. I don't know if that person was someone who asked a previous question and is saying this, or maybe this person just wants to know how to get started doing a healthcare heroes. Oh, I meant information from start to finish. Okay, to run a healthcare heroes campaign. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Will you reach out to us so we can help you with that? We have the sales sheet, but probably need to talk to you about how you do setup.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Because it's every month, and you take nominations and votes, and you want to make sure you promote it. So I'd be happy to have that conversation with you, but it's well worth it because of the revenue that you can get from it.
Okay. So Jacqueline, reach out to Julie and Liz. And there's their email. I wanted to also make sure if we, I think we talked about customizing contests, right? How does one convince a client? Oh yes, we talked about why they should not pull the plug on advertising. What are some strategies to succeed? These were the questions sent in advance to gain customers and loyalty when moving into a rural territory.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the answer to that question. So Patty, can you repeat that one real quick for people that didn't hear it?
Yeah. What are some strategies to successfully gain customers and loyalty when moving into a rural territory?
So Liz and I did chat about this before the call. So thank you to that person that asked the question. I also live in a rural community, a lot of cotton farms here. And so I would just say, what are the types of advertisers in your market? Like, is it agri supply? Is it like a country max situation? We have seen both of those advertisers run promotions. They like them. I think with any advertiser, with any account, with any business owner, especially now, they are going to want to drive leads. They're going to want to replace lost customers. They're going to have offers in Q3 and in Q4 especially, and that is where promotions can help. So I think it's just that conversation, again, like we talked about at the beginning of the call, and you know, with the last question, having that conversation with them about what they need, and what customers they're looking for, and what's the value of a new customer for them, and how you can drive that, you know. And a rural community still has insurance and real estate, right, and healthcare to some extent. So I think it's just, what are the industries in your community, and having those conversations with those guys to build up that trust and build up your book, so to speak, right?
Yes. I had a question that was emailed to me that I want to answer to Amy. Yes, Amy, you will get a recording of the webinar. She missed the beginning, and you're going to get the PowerPoint, the recording, you're going to get webinar takeaways. So you will be covered, because she was on a sales call and it ran long. So yeah, we're not going to punish anyone for selling.
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully she sold them a promotion.
And Amy said, thank you. So that's the last question I had, guys. So last call for questions. And I want to thank Julie, the amazings, Julie and Liz. They're just so, you guys are so full of energy. You got lots of great answers and you just do a great job. So thank you for sharing all of that and taking your time to share it with everyone on the call and of course, America's newspapers. So folks, thank you for attending. It makes it a lot of fun for Julie and Liz when you're so engaged and you're asking questions, right guys? That's they like that. That's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you just heard me say you will get all the materials. They're on the screen, Julie's and Liz's contact information, and this is within the PowerPoint, right, guys? So they'll have this when they get the PowerPoint. And of course, if you have any questions or on reaching anybody, and for some reason you can't reach them, you can reach me because I will email you 500 times every week. So just reach out to me if you need anything. And thank you so much for participating and keep participating in our America's Newspapers webinars. I hope you're enjoying them. If you guys have ideas on webinars you'd like us to produce, send those to me as well. Happy to give you what you want. So everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you again, Julie and Liz. Say hello to the 2nd Street folks for me.
We will. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you guys.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.